What's up everybody, JB Tech Fanatic back again with another video. As always, I'd like to start this video by thanking you for joining me. If you have not yet subscribed, I'd be so honored if you would consider. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and if you want to know when the latest content is available, don't forget to click the notifications to on. Today we are back with Samsung's brand new flagship 8K TV. This is the QN990F. Today I'm going to unbox, show you how to set up the stand. Then we're going to go through setup and go through all of the menus and the TV so that you can see everything this TV has to offer, because trust me, it is feature packed and it is gorgeous. Hopefully if you've already purchased this TV, it will help you understand all the menus, and if you're interested in this TV, hopefully it will help you make an educated choice if it's worth your hard-earned money. I can't wait to get started. Let's do this. Looking at the Samsung One remote, starting at the top, we have our power button. We have a mic right next to it. Then we have our settings button. Then the brand new AI key, which is really neat. If you're watching live content, you simply press the AI button and it will give you information about what is on the screen. Right next to that, we have our voice button. So if you want to use voice control, you can do that. Then of course we have our trackpad, which is nice. Then we have back, home, play, pause, volume up and down, and of course channel. And then we have Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, and Samsung TV Plus as our quick toggles. On the back, it still includes a solar panel for charging. You do also have USB Type-C on the bottom. Another thing they added here is these divots on the side. This allows you to know that you're holding the remote correctly, especially in the dark when you can't see it. Often you get mistaken and flip it upside down. Hopefully that won't happen as much with these divots. I love this remote. It controls everything connected to your TV. It's small, battery lasts forever, and you don't even have to put batteries in it, which is nice. And again, it has that solar charging, which is pretty cool. We are now going to put together the stand. First piece you want to lay upside down is part D. It has this little tab here. You want to open this tab. Then you're going to grab part B. Again, refer to your unpacking list. Here I have part B. You want the feet facing you at this point. You want to line this up and slide it down until it locks. As soon as it locks, you're going to lock this tab. Real easy to do. All right, now that we assembled part of our stand, we're going to go over to the TV. We are looking at the bottom center of the TV. You can see that it has these 4 built-in divots. This is what we are going to connect D1 to. Really easy to do. All you need to do is line this up with those divots and then open up the tabs. As you can see here, once the tabs are open, you're going to be able to align this to lock it in place by pulling it to the right. So you got these 2 tabs here. Again, you're not going to see the ones on the bottom. That's fine. That's what these little doors are for. As soon as they're lined up, it'll lock into place. And when it's locked into place, it will be slid all the way over. You'll be able to shut the doors on both sides. But most importantly, you want to pull up and make sure that this thing is not coming off, because if you do not install this properly, this whole TV will fall and it will break. So definitely yank up, make sure it's locked into place nice and tight, and let's go ahead and grab the bottom of the stand. So here is the other piece of the stand that we put together. I just put this here for reference. You can see it's going to go on the bottom of the TV. Again, the TV should be laying on a nice soft blanket on a bed, or if you have a table that's level, don't have anything under the screen. You do not want to crack it. The TV needs to be towards the end of the table or bed so that we can hang this portion of the stand and complete the installation. Essentially same idea here. Line up the 4. As soon as they're in line, you're going to be able to slide this right and it's going to lock into place. There's no screwing at this point, but you do want to make sure that everything's nice and tight. There is a little give here in the middle. That's normal. You just want to make sure that everything is locked down in the bracket that we put together before. And again, before you stand this thing up at any point, make sure that it's all locked down. Pull up on it, good. And if it holds, you're good to go. I actually had to move it down a little bit further and I gave it a good push to the right. Now it's definitely locked into place. Again, there's a little give. That's going to be normal, but again, make sure that's locked. Pull up on it. And now we can go ahead and put the rest together. Next step, grab the 2 E3 screws. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to screw them in the top. Once that's complete, we're going to grab item G, which is the power box. We're going to take part F, which is the power cord, and we're going to go ahead and connect it now to the power box. Once you have the power cable in, we're going to utilize these tabs here on those 2 screws we put in to lock this in place. You can then feed your power cable down through here to cover it up and make it look more flush. Quick note, you want to make sure that you channel that power cord into its little slot here so that this can actually slide in and lock in place. Now, before you hook up the power box completely, you want to put in your mini, if you would, 1 connect cable. This is going to be ran right to the power box. This is how the TV is getting power. Remember, you don't have to connect the power box. You can actually take the long 1 cable, which is right here, and you can run the power box away from your TV and just have this smaller wire. For me, it doesn't really make a difference, but depending on how you're going to mount this, it's up to you. But for now, just go ahead and put the mini one in. We have this all lined up, ready to go. Then we're going to pull off this casing. That way you can channel your wire, make it look more flush, no problem. Once everything looks right, we're going to take the power box using those 2 screws that we put in to lock it down into place. It's just sort of a slide and pull thing. Make sure that the wire's already, not any slack here. That way it goes nice and flush. Once it's placed right, it shouldn't move very much. A little give to it, that's it. When you're done with that, we're just going to replace our plastic cover. Snaps right back on, really easy. Then we're going to take the 1 connect cable and connect it to the box. Just wanted to make very clear this is a wireless 1 connect box. However, if you do not connect this in some way via the short or long cable, you cannot have power to your TV. So there still is a power cable. Now that this is all placed properly, we have 1 more plastic cover. Just snap it on into place. Good to go. Again, this is just plastic on here. You could take that off. I'm going to leave it for now. But at this point, the good news is that we are actually ready to go. Now we're going to have to go ahead, grab what we are going to use. If you have a Blu-ray player, a cable box, anything like that, we're going to have to still connect it to the 1 connect box. The next portion we're going to have to set up is the 1 connect box. This is a wireless TV, that is correct. However, again, the TV itself needs power and the 1 connect box needs power. The difference is that the 1 connect box can be plugged in somewhere away from the TV, and then it will communicate whatever's plugged into this box to your TV in up to 8K resolution. Now, this is something that is pretty new, and honestly, it's pretty awesome. So if you have a home and you're looking for a flush, no cable look, this is going to make your life much easier. Now, for those of you that have never owned a device that uses HDMI 2.1, I want to say you want to make sure that you get high quality HDMI 2.1 cables, as those are the best quality and the best standard. And of course, this utilizes them in all 4 of those HDMI ports. If you have a sound system and you're new to this and you've never used HDMI eARC, basically really easy to do. You have port number 3, which says eARC here. You're just going to run your HDMI cable from the eARC port to your sound bar or sound system. That is going to give you the best sound available in the formats that are supported. The One Connect box is small and light, so really nothing to worry about there. If we're looking close at it, we got our pair button, we have our coaxial, we have a USB, we have HDMI 1, 2, 3, and 4, we have our LAN port, we have an optical port, and we have a USB-C for the power of the One Connect box. Also on the right side, you have 2 more USB ports and you have your wireless indicator. Before powering anything on, best thing to do to make your life easier, go ahead and plug in all your devices, power them on. So game consoles, Blu-ray players, dish box, whatever you use, plug them in. Then we're going to go ahead, grab the power cable, plug it in, grab the USB-C to C brick that they give you in the package, and we're going to go ahead and grab our one remote and turn the power on. Now that you turn on the power to the TV, if it's the first time, you will be greeted by a blue page that allows you to set it up either with the one remote or scanning your QR code. I recommend grabbing your mobile device, connecting it to the Wi-Fi network you want your TV to be on, and scanning the QR code. It will lead you through step by step. Only thing you want to make sure you do, make sure you have your devices plugged in and powered on. That way the TV can recognize them and your one remote will control them. Once you get through that, you will be on your For You page like we are now. I'm going to just go through everything so you can kind of get a good feeling of what we have in this TV. And let me tell you, it's a ton of features. Also, in addition to that, if you have already bought this TV, this might help you figure out, maybe you're looking for a certain setting and you can't find it. Okay, to start, as you can see here, we have For You, Live, and Apps. People get confused that have had Samsung TVs in the past. Samsung used to have an app store. Now it has an app page. I tell you this because if you are not on the app toggle up here and you go over to your search, you will not be able to pull up apps that you need in your search. As an example, you're under For You, you try to type in HBO Max, it won't pop up. But if you're under the app, it will. So right now I'm just going to show you an example. I'm just going to type in HBO. As you can see, it's going to show me movies, but it's not going to show me the app. Now I'm going to back out. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go to the apps. Press down, over, back to search. Now I'm going to type in HBO again, and Max will pop up right in the front. I won't even finish it, as you can see there. So that's something to keep in mind. But again, anything that you want, you can search for. If you don't want it, you can delete it. Now there is some built-in apps that you cannot delete, but overall, it has a good amount of storage, especially for a television when most of them don't have much at all. So we're going to start with the For You page. First thing, you have your Now playing on Now. If we keep scrolling down, you can see that I have my Dish Network, I have my streaming accounts. You can order these, or sorry, put them in a certain order if you want. You can move them around, which is nice, or you can just remove them. As you can see, I just held down on the app. Now it allows me to move it left or right. Whenever it's in the position you want, you just press OK and it keeps it there, which is nice. If we go down further, we have New on TV, Star Wars Collection. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. Sorry if I'm going too fast. The reason we're going to go to the bottom is when you're looking for the settings for the pages, they're at the bottom. So as media options, we have our preferences, continue watching, auto sound play, and parental lock. They're all at the bottom. One thing I like is continue watching. It only works with some apps, but you have to select. So as an example, you want to put a check mark to any app that you use. Then when you're interrupted, you have to stop watching your show. when you turn your TV back on, it will actually be in continue watching. So if we go back up to the top, sorry, going really fast again, it would be right here, continue watching. I was on Max, I was watching Friends, and it leaves me off. I was watching Alphon, sorry, Samsung TV Plus. That's an oldie buddy goodie, and there's some other ones that I was watching there. So it's really nice to have it, and you can jump right back in without loading anything. The next category is live. This, honestly, these are going to be live events, especially sporting events. It can really help you get directly to a game you want to watch by letting you know where it is, what channel it is. If it so happens to be on the cable provider, it will take you directly to your cable box. So it just makes everything easy. And if you're like me and sometimes you forget what channel your favorite NBA team's playing on, this certainly helps with that. And then again, back to apps, they speak for themselves, but I did want to go all the way down to give you a look at everything, break some into different categories for you, but it's all in one place and it's nice and easy. All right, moving on. We're going to go to the left of the screen. Here we're on home. We're going to go up to the game category. Now, this has several things that I think are really, really cool. First, you can actually connect one of your favorite remotes. Let's just say it's an Xbox remote or a PlayStation 5 remote. You can connect it to your TV and you can actually play games right from Samsung Gaming Hub on your TV with no console. And it actually works great. You just want to make sure that you have a good, solid internet connection and you have the speeds to support it. But if you do, let me tell you, it's a great experience and it's really neat that it's just built in. In addition to that, all your favorites, right? We have Xbox on here. You have NVIDIA. There's other ones that you can download, PlayStation 5, Nintendo. When you plug it in and it's connected, it will automatically populate up here. So it gives you a quick gaming experience and settings for each individual console and our streaming ability. So you can come here, they have different deals, if you don't have a console. Also, if you are a PC gamer and you want to have a really large screen, this TV can handle, 4K, 240 frames with ease. So it is something, essentially this TV has anything the best monitors have that you can actually, plug your graphics card, your PC directly into this TV and play it right here. So it really gives you everything for your money. And I really cannot stress enough how amazing the gaming performance is on this TV. I'll go ahead and scroll through this really quickly so you can just get a quick look. And then we will go to the art category. This gaming area is pretty robust. Almost to the bottom here. Down at the bottom, you have your game rating lock. You have gaming preferences that you can set. So let's click on that. So you can basically dedicate it. I like to play the newest and most popular games many times a week or casual. You can set that. Then once we're done with the gaming hub, we're now going to go to Daily Plus. Daily Plus. This basically features Samsung SmartThings, which is built into this TV. Smart home controlled all from one place. Any of your, smart lights in your home, anything that you have in your home that's considered a smart item, you can control from your TV. It's awesome. If you have Ring cameras, you can actually view all of your Ring cameras right on your TV. You can view them live. So if someone rings the doorbell, you can see who's out there. Also, it has Philips Hue built in and many other things like Samsung Food, Samsung Health, Workspace, so on and so forth. It has some fun things like Stingray Karaoke. It's got QVC Plus, HSN Plus. Here we go. Smart things. You can have a map view of your home. You can see I have a couple things here. I have like office lights, my vacuum. We also have, let's see here, YouTube. And then anything to do with PC, remote PC, easy Windows connection, multi-control, which is really neat. Samsung DeX, which I'm sure many of you are aware that your Samsung phones can have a PC-like experience. That is also built into this TV, so you can basically have a full PC experience. Microsoft 365, this TV truly is loaded. Next category is the art category. Now, these TVs have always had an ambient mode to them. The difference is they have actually added the art store just like the Frame series. This is the first TV other than the Frame series to include the full-fledged art mode. Now, this does cost either monthly or yearly. I believe right now it's $5 a month or $50 a year, but tons of art included. You have a spot to upload your own photos. You can save favorites, and then you can manage your membership here. You can also, if you want to get a quick look at some art before purchasing it, maybe you're not sure if it'll work for you, it does let you try it, meaning it typically always is going to give you some sort of free trial. I think my TV had a 30-day free trial on it. But I mean, let's just say we want to look at these 26 pieces here, let them pop up, and it's just going to let me pick one and see what it would look like. I'm going to do that. So it says try in art mode. It looks amazing. Looks just like a painting. This is a TV that can blend in any room, especially if you want it to look like a photo on the wall. It really does, and I like that it's included. Here's the current pricing. It pops up after you try a sample. I'll keep scrolling down so you can see everything here. Don't worry, there is some free options. If you just keep going down, here we got our artist. We have our AI wallpapers. They're giving you 10 free a day. So essentially what you do is you're going to pick generate. You're going to pick the theme you want. If you like flower, pattern, city, landscape, pick. We'll do watercolor painting, and then AI will just create a couple, and then you choose. So you get 10 of these. When you choose one of them, it counts as one. You can restart or regenerate if you don't like any, but if you like one, you click it, it's going to download it. Now you have a free painted image that you can use every day, save to your television. At the bottom left corner, it will say AI generated content. Other than that, it looks exactly like any of the other art. This is new with the AI features, and I think it's great. And I have it on my phone also, and it's really useful. Next thing you have is My Photo Album. So from your phone, you can upload photos and you can turn them into calendars or whatever you'd like. These are the different options. You just upload them and it will put them in the place for you. And then that can be the screensaver or painting, if you would, on your TV. Keep going down. We have complimentary. We have the special edition. This has been around for a while. These are really cool. Go back out here, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 categories of free stuff that's built in. You also have more on these two. If you want to download these apps, you have even more options. Then you have your art mode essentially settings. So we're going to go to sleep mode option. You can turn this on, and after 4 hours, it's going to set the TV to turn off automatically. And then it explains what art is, which we don't need to look at that right now. Overall, something that's really neat, extremely useful, and great if you like to have company over. And if you want just a peaceful photo collection and you're not someone that likes a TV in the room, this might be a good option if every now and then you want to sneak in a show and you really want a TV, you just don't want the look of it. And again, this TV's thin and beautiful, and with the right mount and the wireless box, essentially it's going to look just like a photo hanging on the wall. All right, so I can't really put content up without getting violations on YouTube. So what I'm doing is I put it in demo mode. This will allow us to do two things. One, you can see hopefully what kind of quality this TV outputs. And let me tell you, this is stunning. It is one of the best TVs I have ever seen in my home. I have been to CES for several years. I've seen the wall, which is amazing, but that's $100,000 TV or more. So this TV is Samsung's flagship, which means it is the best product that they put out for, I don't know, I would call us a general consumer. It's one that you can actually get in your home, ordering it, simple, put it up, and it's gorgeous. Okay, so I opened up Netflix. Again, can't play the video, but I'm going to have you, if you're following along, press the settings button on your one remote. This way we can look at all these settings together. First, we have all settings, then we have sound mode, sound output, brightness, picture mode, AI mode. If we scroll to the right, we have our Bluetooth, live translate, we have our LAN port, sleep timer, multi-view game mode, caption, color tone, energy saving, a digital output, picture clarity, power and energy. Let's see, support, retail mode, edit. We're going to start with all settings. Here you can see that we have our picture. First, you can choose dynamic, standard, eco, movie, retail bright, retail dark. We also have the smart calibration. This is something I highly recommend you do. Really simple, scan your QR code on your TV, as you can see right here with one of these phones or better. Once you do that, you're essentially able to almost professionally calibrate your TV. In my opinion, it does just as good a job. Only thing you want to do, put your phone on a tripod, make sure that the room is pitch black, that it's about 3 feet in front of your TV, and let it finish. Don't turn on any lights, don't move the camera, let it finish from start to the end, and it will calibrate your TV. At that point, we have our expert settings where we control brightness, contrast, sharpness, color, tint. It also has auto HDR remastering. So essentially, this makes HDR content out of SDR content. And depending on what you're watching is depending on whether or not I recommend using it. It is something that works really well. It's going to get better and better as you use it more, but I highly recommend toggling it on or off if you're not liking what you're seeing. For now, we'll leave it on. We have the HDR tone mapping. We have contrast enhancer, shadow detail, gamma, BT. Also, apply picture settings. Remember, if you want to do it to just one source, click current source. Otherwise, it's going to copy it for all of your sources. We have our local dimming, low, standard, and high, film mode, and color native. You, of course, can change that to auto or custom. We have color booster. This uses AI to adjust the color intensity. Works great. Color tone. Again, there's more options or less options depending on the content you're watching. White balance, picture clarity settings. We have off, auto, and custom. I leave it on auto. I think it works great. It does have blue light reduction built in, which is a great feature to save your eyes. And then, of course, it has reset. Now, when we back out, we're going to go to a different source. All right, now you'll notice down at the bottom, we have two things, AI mode, and then we have the picture mode with AI. So when AI mode is activated, you're going to have those two options. These are something that I believe work great. The more you use it, the better they are going to get. You have AI optimized. When you notice, you'll go to brightness. You're allowed to adjust everything here. We'll go over to all settings. We're going to go here and we're going to go to expert settings, go all the way down. You cannot use at this point, because we're watching an HDR program, the auto HDR remastering. You don't need it, so it's grayed out. You have static or active for HDR tone mapping. I use active. Contrast enhancer will be grayed out. Shadow detail, if you're watching HDR, HDR10 plus, I actually recommend that you go all the way to 5. If you want a little darker tint to it, you can drop it to a 3, but just go back and forth and see what you like more. What you're going to find is, gosh, I wish I could play content and not get kicked off for it. But if you look at this jacket here, watch, I'm going to go down. Hopefully the camera, it looks black. When you go up in shadow detail, what happens is you can see more and more of what that jacket actually looks. He's got a rip here. You can see the lines of the jacket, which if you go down, I'll do it again, you can't see any of that. So shadow detail between 3 and 5, I recommend 5, especially with Peaky Blinders. If you've ever seen that movie, or I mean show, it's a great show. We have our gamma still available here. I actually go +1 on the ST.2084. Local dimming, again, up to you. I actually go high if we're dealing with HDR content. I keep the color space at native. Color Booster Pro, I actually put that at low. And then all the way down, you can see that really all we have left is the picture clarity settings. I leave that on auto, and you can always turn on the blue light reduction. Now I'm going to back out and I'm going to switch it now from the, let's see, video started playing. Sorry about that. We're going to go to AI customization. So notice the change. Now, when we go to this feature, you're going to notice that we have less options. We cannot adjust the brightness or contrast when using this AI. You can still adjust the sharpness. Color, you cannot. You cannot use HDR remastering. You still can turn active or static for HDR tone mapping. Sorry, I went back too quick there. We can still adjust the ST.2084. And again, it still makes a huge difference on how much of that jacket you can see. I go +3 there, and then the shadow detail, watch. It just gets better and better. But that, actually, I'm going to go back. See, this darkness looks a little better, almost more detailed. If I go up, it's a little too washed out for my taste. So if you want, you can either go 3 on shadow detail and then drop this to +1, or you can go +3 to on the ST and then drop down the shadow detail to 1 or 2. Up to you. Almost really achieves the same results, but I have noticed if you watch different shows that can vary, so you want to just play with it and get it to how you like it best. Local dimming standard, Color Booster Pro. I actually keep this on low for everything. High is a little too much for my taste, but when it's off, it needs a little bit extra oomph. So I think low is perfect, but that's all the settings there that I actually use and the 2 different AI. Having said that, remember, it gets better. For the first few days that you turn your TV on, you might not like the way it looks. The more you adjust your settings, the more you watch, the more it detects your environment and the lighting in your room. It gets better and better. So don't judge it in the first day. Give it time. Okay, continuing on. Now we're going to look at sound mode. And again, if you have a sound bar or you're going to just use the TV, it's going to vary on what options are here. So since I'm connected to a sound bar, you can see I have game, adaptive sound plus, standard, and surround. If we click here, we can choose to either use just the TV speaker, or we can use all the TV speakers and the Samsung soundbar speakers, allowing them all to work in unison, which is a special feature with select Samsung TVs and Samsung soundbars. If you just want to connect via HDMI and don't use the soundbar you want to just use the soundbar and not the TV speakers, you would just pick the HDMI with whatever soundbar you're using. And then of course I have some headphones connected for Bluetooth, and then it has optical settings. If I was you and you buy this TV, what you want to buy with it is the new Samsung Q990F soundbar. It is phenomenal. I did a video about it that I will link above for you to check out if you have not seen that yet. But anyway, wanted to show you, I'm going to go just TV speaker and then go back to sound mode. You can see we now have just two, amplify and standard. I recommend amplify. Again, AI mode on. It's going to help it sound better, and it should get better and better as it adapts to the environment. But honestly, I still think you want a soundbar. Okay, so now we're going to go back to all settings, and we're going to go to connections. Connections is where you have your network, your Bluetooth, auto connect Bluetooth reconnects to the last Bluetooth audio device you used. If you turn this on, and let's just say it's nighttime, you had your headphones connected, you're watching it the night before, all you got to do is turn those headphones back on and it will connect automatically. The wireless One Connect box, here you can manage this completely. We can manage the connection between the One Connect box and TV. This, you can also set it up if it has not been set up yet. Honestly, mine hooked up immediately when I turned on the TV and the box for the first time, no problem. You can turn on and off the LED indication, low signal check, and power adapter check. So everything is here. You can also click it to verify that it's connected. Really easy. Then you have the option to turn on storage share. You can access files from your Galaxy devices through connected devices on this device. You can also find available devices on TV for both storage share to work. Both devices need to have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and storage share turned on. So it makes it real easy if you want to pull your photos from your Samsung S25 Ultra or whatever you're using. Really nice. We also have Apple AirPlay. So if you do use an iPhone, you got everything you need with AirPlay. Here's where you would utilize your settings and do whatever you need with that. The device connection manager allows phones and tablets connected to your home network to share content with your device. So this, anything connected via Wi-Fi, you can just share it with your TV. It's really nice to have. This TV literally has every feature you can think of, that a smart feature or anything that makes your life easier. It's in this TV. We're going to go to advanced features. There's live translate. Here you can turn on AI mode, which again, I recommend. And again, don't judge it on day one. Give it a week or two. It'll just get better. Voice, you can set up all your voice here. So if you like using either Alexa or Bixby, it has both. You can do this with a hands-free wake up when the screen is on. You can have it set to always, or of course you can just shut it off. Voice hint. So what happens with this is I have smart things and I have smart appliances. As an example, when my washing machine is done, it will notify me on my TV. I can simply say clear and it will let it know that I saw it. I don't have to hit any buttons. So that will give you hints when options like that are available. Whether you pick Bixby or Alexa, you want to go ahead and click here. We're going to go to Bixby settings. Under Bixby settings, you have your voice wake up settings. You have language and voice style. So if you want to change the way she sounds, or you can make it a he, whatever you want, you can do that here. You have your Bixby feedback. You can turn that off if you want. Here's where you can shut off allow audio recording review. This is privacy, again, up to you. You can also unlink or leave Bixby here. Lastly, about, you can see your privacy notice and your terms and conditions. Also, it has gesture. So if you have a camera, you can actually use your hands to do certain commands, like save your favorite, by simply putting your hand and doing a gesture. This will only work if you buy a camera. There is several cameras that will work for it. I recommend whenever you buy this TV, checking the TV will let you know. I use Samsung's camera and magnets to the back, sits at the top, works really well. But I mean, this isn't something everyone's going to use, but it's pretty cool. Once you have that camera connected, you can click and you can see what it allows. So as an example, turn sign language zoom on by making a little circle, or with a C, turn caption on, wave to go to the next stage. This one here, as an example, by putting the peace sign up, it will instantly save your favorite channel, app, or source, as well as picture quality and sound settings, and easily bring them up at any time. Here you can experience your gestures. You can capture your favorite services and settings with the thumb up. You can see you can choose 3 different, looks kind of weird on camera, but you have a fist, a peace sign, and a hand sign. You can actually pick which one you want to use, and then it's going to have you do it, make sure, set. Once it's set, you can then use it, but pretty cool. Next, we have daily board. So when you approach the screen, useful information is displayed over a beautiful wallpaper. It will turn off after a set time. You can also control it using voice commands. Now, all this does is you walk in the room, it automatically pops up. Example, your calendar, the weather, the time. Pretty neat, very useful. And again, it just shows you how it's just getting more and more about information and ease. That way you don't have to pick up your remote. It's just there. And then when you leave, it turns off. Again, if you want to use this, you have to have this toggle to on. If you don't, you can simply shut it off. You can also enable it with voice here. I just have it with detection. I walk in the room, turns on, works great. Then we have our start screen option. Now, this is something that a lot of people have issues with, as they don't know what they have on or off. So this is how you turn all your start screen options on or off. They have to be toggled on to work and off not to work. So starting with the top, automatically display Smart Hub Home when the TV is turned on. If you turn off this option, the last source will be the first screen. So if you have your dish box on and you shut off the TV, when you turn it back on, the dish box will be the first screen. Next, we have Auto Run Samsung TV Plus. This is essentially Samsung's free TV service, has lots of channels. It's high quality. It started small and now it's big. It's worth it. It's great. It's almost like you don't even need cable anymore. And I can actually see it getting there one day. So if you want to auto run it, turn that on. And then we have multi-view cast. Activates when you cast YouTube from your mobile phone, only applicable for screens that support multi-view, including live TV, external devices, and or apps. What this is you can have essentially your phone in one corner on your screen. You can have your dish going on one screen and whatever else on the other. And then there'll be 3 boxes. So you can have that on. Also, sorry about that. My dog started barking. Anyway, last one we have multi-view. Multi-view runs. Now we have auto run multi-view. This activates when you cast YouTube from your mobile device. This only works for screens that support multi-view, including live TV, external devices, and or apps. Also, multi-view runs automatically when you mirror your mobile screen. So these two can be turned on or off. What happens is, let's just say you want to mirror your phone and it's over here in the corner. You can have your dish on also in 2 screens, or you can have up to 3 screens in with supported inputs only. Not all things will work. Like, it doesn't allow you to stream Netflix and YouTube at the same time, but still a cool feature. Breaks your screen up and gives you control over each individual screen. So you got different items and you can multitask. Again, if you're not going to be using these devices, or if you're not going to be using what I just talked about, just shut them all off. The top one, if you want your home to start with the smart view, the smart hub, have this on. If you just want the last source, shut it off. A lot of people do want just the last source. Remember, when you're accessing the smart hub, you're also accessing the internet. So again, it could be running in the background and you might not want it. Just remember, it's under Start Screen Options. Moving on. Under General and Privacy, we have our accessibility. We have voice guide, audio description, audio subtitles. Auto picture off, turns off the screen but keeps playing sound. This is great if you're listening to, as an example, a podcast. You can just turn off the screen and allow that to continue playing. We have high contrast. What else? Zoom menu and text, grayscale, color inversion. And again, if it's grayed out, that doesn't mean it's broken. It means it doesn't work with whatever you're doing. When it comes to the One Remote, Learn TV Remote, this is a great option to use. Learn the positions of the buttons on the TV remote. Once enabled, your TV will tell you the name of the buttons you press. For anyone that needs help with their remote, this is the best way to get it. Caption. Now, down at the bottom, this has multi-output audio. Enable both your TV speakers and Bluetooth devices at the same time when this function is active. You can set the volume of your Bluetooth device to be louder than that of your TV speaker. This is something that I think is really cool. It's hidden kind of here, but this is kind of like something that you might never see if you don't dig through. But to be able to use your devices at the same time is a great function to have. Last thing here, we have our remote button repeat settings. You can do slow button repeat. You can change the interval. Once you turn that on, again, up to you. I just keep it off, works fine for me. Next, we have power and energy savings. I honestly, the only thing that I use when it comes to this is the screensaver. But other than that, it's completely up to you. You can also set a sleep timer if you want, auto power off, auto power savings. Typically, when energy savings is on, it's going to reduce the brightness quite a bit. So you might find your TV being too dark. But again, it does have these features. And if you want to save money on your electric bill, then use them. If you're okay with paying a little extra for a bright, vivid picture, completely up to you. Next, if you got kids, it does have parental settings. We have parental lock, parental rating lock, so it will automatically know if it's rated R as an example and will lock. And then you have app lock, so you can lock or unlock whatever you need to do to keep your kids safe. You need to put in a PIN, so unless they know your PIN, they won't be able to change it or get into it. External device manager. This is very important. First thing, you want to turn on HDMI CEC. Use the TV remote to control external devices and listen to the TV sound through a soundbar receiver connected to HDMI ARC or eARC. Turn this on. Input Signal Plus expands the input signal range for external device connections. Extend for HDR input. I recommend, for maximum potential, turning these all on. I mean, if you have something that's really old, you don't necessarily need to, but most of the stuff nowadays you want to have full capacity. Especially gaming consoles. If you got a PS5 or a new Xbox and you want to get 120 VRR, etc., you need to have these turned on. Next, we have media switching settings. Here we have quick media switching. Quickly and seamlessly switches AV streams with different frequencies. I would turn that on. Then you have picture adjust, display media images smoothly and clearly. I turn that on also. Next, you have your time, where you can set your time and date, or you can set it to auto. Time, date, and you can set it to auto, excuse me. You can choose your language, lots of different ones here. Big list, you just scroll down, hopefully there's the one you need there. I have it on English. Then we have our menu style, which is again here, over here in the left, of course. You can do size and transparency. That's what I choose. Next, we have keyboard and mouse settings. When we click, we have keyboard language or keyboard type. You can choose whatever you'd like. Back out of there, go to mouse settings. Here we have the pointer size, primary button, and the speed. So full control, pretty nice to have on a TV. Next, we have the remote control. To quickly recharge, connect the charging cable at the bottom of the remote control. Plus, you can place your remote on its front with the back facing up to extend operating time using indoor light. Also, it has a remote grip sensor. This is something I highly recommend turning on. Essentially, what it prevents you from doing is trying to use the remote upside down in the dark, which happened a lot. Showed you the remote earlier. They put the grips on there, which helps also. But this will actually pop up on your TV that you're holding the remote backwards. It knows, it warns you, and then you flip it right and you're all good. So it is something I think Samsung was listening to us, knowing that probably more than just me was trying to use my remote upside down in the dark. Here you can adjust your sound feedback when you scroll through your menus. I actually like this off. It was on low. Here we can switch through retail mode, or retail mode, show off to your friends. You can show all the cool videos, but if you want to put it back to normal mode, you would just put in your PIN. Now, again, this is something that you can flip back and forth. It really won't make any difference as far as messing up all your settings from your prior. If you want to put it on retail mode to show some videos to your friends, that's fine. Simply put in your PIN, switch back to home mode, and you're back to however you had it set before. Here you can change your PIN, and at the very bottom is where, if you completely want to start over, you can factory reset your entire TV. Just a warning, if you do this, it's like factory resetting your mobile device. It's going to reset all your apps, and if you're signed in, you're going to have to set up the TV as new. But there might be a day that you need to do that. So remember, it's under General and Privacy. All right, last tab, we're at Support. Here we have our device care, which is very useful, and you might find yourself using it often. Okay, so you can manage your storage here. You can see at the top right that we have 6.28 gigs available and 4.2 gigs used. Here we can choose to delete apps that we do not want. You can also, like as an example, go to View Details, and you can see how much space it's using up and clear your cache memory. So if things are getting bogged down or whatever, it might be the problem. So you would want to just go through here, see what's going on, and clear it if need be. If you need to request support, you can do it right from your TV. If you want to reset your smart hub, you can do that here. If you want to see if anything is wrong with any piece of your TV, you can do that here. As you can see, it has categories, 16 in total. You can either test them all, or you can specifically choose to test, as an example, Wi-Fi or power or video test. Otherwise, you would just click Test All, and it will run through each one and let you know if anything is wrong.
If your TV feels bogged down, maybe you've been opening up a bunch of apps and it's just getting bogged down. Honestly, hasn't happened with this TV yet for me. This is a very powerful TV because it's the flagship. But if you do, you just click Start Device Care, and it's going to close everything, check everything, make sure that your settings aren't out of whack, and then give you a diagnosis at the end. Says great, all's good, sound set to external speaker. I want to keep that, so I would simply hit close. Little trick, if you're having buffering problems, run this, like if you're streaming on Netflix and it's just not getting up to the quality as quickly as you'd like, try doing device care. Often this helps because sometimes multiple services are running in the background that you don't know about, and it's sucking from your bandwidth and affecting the quality of your video. So just a hint or a little tip at that.
All right, we're now looking at a little bit of gaming here. Just wanted to show you what it looks like. Of course, it looks better in real life. However, I had to state the obvious. This is the best looking TV for gaming that I've seen. The detail, the clarity, heck, the up conversion is absolutely stunning. It can take your 4K and up convert it to 8K. Now again, this monitor, or this TV, excuse me, is capable of 4K at 240 and 8K at 120. Again, that's going to be with a PC and a graphics card that is capable of such. Real quickly, we're going to go over some of the game settings. Here you can see I have the game bar toggled up and I have God of War on. Here we have the game genre. It's on auto, so it automatically knows what type of game I'm playing, and it maximizes everything about the game as far as the way it looks. To get this game bar, all you do is grab your one remote, hold down the play pause button. You also have a virtual aim point. We have red 1, red 2, red 3, green 1, 2, and 3. So that's really nice to see in a TV. Also, you have your screen aspect ratio. We have a mini map zoom, so you can do this left or right, and then you can actually scroll around, which is pretty cool on a TV. Shut that off. Next, we are going to have more settings. This is going to take us into the heart of the settings. First one is game mode. I recommend turning it to auto. You can select it to be always on or always off. I just keep it on auto so it turns on when I put on a game. You can also, again, do your virtual aim point, mini-map auto detection, surround sound when it's available, dynamic black equalizer, which I recommend leaving at +5. You can also choose whether or not to run that game bar automatically. I like it to run. That way you know you're getting everything that you're wanting. Now we're going to go up to Game Picture Expert. We have HDR10 Plus Gaming. You can turn this off. That's off. Now we're going to go to Basic. And this basic mode provides the most accurate representation of the game's original creative intent, or you can go to advanced. So advanced, again, is just going to be up converting it. If you're going to use this, this is what I recommend using. Also, it has game HDR, which also has basic, advanced, or off. I use either off or advanced, but again, see what you like. This also has Game Motion Plus, which you won't need. Again, this TV can handle 240 hertz at 4K, and then if you had an 8K, you could go to 120, but that's probably not going to happen. But that is with a PC. However, with your game consoles, you will be able to get 120 frames at 4K when the game is able to do it. And again, you have VRR, you can see the FPS at the bottom, and HDR, so you know if they're on or not. It also tells you the resolution and your input lag.
As far as this TV goes, I have not seen a better TV for gaming. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. The up conversion is amazing. It's up converting your 4K content into like 8K content, which is stunning. There is literally, this thing competes with any of the best monitors on the market, and it's a TV. I know a lot of people don't hook their PCs to a TV, but if you ever wanted a really large screen and it to look really amazing, this is definitely a TV to try that. And if not a PC, definitely a game console. Anything's going to look great on this.
Now you can check out what the TV's capable of. Sorry, I can't play more due to copyright. This will give you a good idea how beautiful this TV is. But while we're watching this, I'm going to cover all the specifications. Let's start with the panel type. It uses a VA panel. It has a panel bit depth of 10 bits. It does not have FRC. The resolution is 7680 by 4320, which is 8K, of course. This has mini LEDs. They don't tell us the exact number, but Samsung did say that they have double the amount of last year's variation of this TV. The viewing angles is 178 degrees, horizontal and vertical, which is great. The coating has an anti-glare matte coating, and honestly, you can't see glare in this TV at all. It's, again, probably one of the best glare-free screens I have seen in my home, at least. Now, as far as the rest of the specs go, this is VersaMount compatible. It uses a 600 by 400 mm. The stand is removable. It does not have a height adjustment, and you cannot swivel it or do anything with it. It's stuck in one place. Kind of a bummer. I wanted it to at least tilt. However, if you mount it, that of course won't be a problem. It has a built-in TV tuner, analog, and then it has ATSC, clear, QAM, and ATSC 3.0. The processor brand name is NQ8 AI Gen 3 processor. This is a 4-core processor that uses 768 AI neutral networks to upconvert almost everything into like 8K quality. And let me tell you, this is the first time I can say in a TV that it looks 8K. I mean, it's gorgeous, whether it's gaming or it's a 4K movie, you're streaming or watching a Blu-ray. It is absolutely stunning, which helps with the lack of true 8K content out there. As far as the audio, of course, it has Samsung's Q Symphony. It has a 6.2.4 channel, 90 watt with Active Voice Amplifier Pro, Adaptive Sound Pro, AI sound technology, Bluetooth audio, Clear Dialogue, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Decoder, Dolby Digital Plus, Multi-Room Link, Moving Sound Pro, Sound Fit Sound, Sound Mirroring, Sound Optimizer Pro, Surround Sound, and of course it has a voice guide. This TV does not have a built-in camera, however you can add one. It has to be one that works with this TV, of course. I use Samsung's Slim Fit camera, that's the best one in my opinion. As far as networking, this of course has an Ethernet port and has Wi-Fi, goes all the way up to Wi-Fi 6. It features Wi-Fi Direct, DLNA, Wi-Fi 6E, and it has Bluetooth 5.3, which is great. As far as connectivity, you have one USB Type-C, 3 USB Type 2.0, 1 Ethernet RJ45, 5 HDMI 2.1 ports, 1 cable antenna in, 1 optical audio out. It has AnyNet Plus HDMI CEC, audio return channel ARC, auto low latency mode, enhanced audio return channel eARC on HDMI 3, HDMI quick switch, high bandwidth digital content protection HDCP 2.3. It has HFR, VRR, and of course the wireless One Connect box. Now for the long list of features: 100% color volume with quantum dot, 4-side bezel-less design. It has adaptive picture, AI 8K upscaling Pro, AI auto game mode, AI image quality optimization, AI motion enhancer Pro, AI saver mode, AI smart home with home monitoring, Alexa ambient mode plus, AMD FreeSync Premium Pro, Apple AirPlay, Auto HDR Remastering Pro, Bixby brightness and hue sensors, Connect Share Contrast Enhancer Pro, Color Booster Pro,
dynamic black EQ, eco sensor, eye comfort mode, expert calibration, far field voice interaction, filmmaker mode, game motion plus, Google Assistant, HDR brightness optimization, HDR gaming, Hue Sync, Magic Screen Plus, Matter, Minimap Zoom, Motion Accelerator 120, Multi-View, Neo Quantum HDR 8K Pro, NFT, Art Token, Savage, Quantum Matrix Technology Pro, PC on TV, Picture Clarity, Professional Calibration, Real Depth Enhancer Pro, Real-Time Translation, Samsung Daily Plus, Samsung Gaming Hub, Samsung Health, Samsung Knox, Samsung TV Plus, Samsung Vision AI, Smart Calibration Pro, Smart Things, Super Ultra Game Mode and Game Bard, Tap View, Ultimate 8K Dimming Pro, and the Ultra Viewing Angle. That was a list. This thing is absolutely loaded to the gills with every feature you can ever want.
All right, so I know this is a really long video, but I did want to do a little review portion. This, of course, is my initial thoughts after using this TV for about a month. When it comes to TVs, obviously there's tons of TVs out there with many different price points. When you start getting into the flagship device, you start to see the higher price points. And honestly, you need to understand why they're more to actually be okay with spending that type of money and getting the results that you'll get from a flagship. First, of course, is how is the build quality? This TV, in my opinion, is solidly built. It looks gorgeous, near bezel-less design. It would look good on a wall, on a, gosh, you could put this thing anywhere, right? On a stand. It will blend in with your living decor. So even when it's off, it looks awesome. The next thing is the screen. How's the reflection? You know, is when you walk by your TV and it's off, is it like a mirror? This has such a beautiful sort of matte look to it. There's virtually zero glare, and I mean that. Right now I have two very bright lights pointing at this screen. Typically, you should be able to see the LEDs all over the screen, but you don't because it's such a good quality anti-glare coating. Then we have all the other stuff, the performance. So things like processing power. Does the menu skip when you press that button, does it react? This is a kind of TV that when you press that button, it moves. It doesn't find itself getting caught up, if you would. It has extra RAM in it, extra memory in it. On a TV, you typically see 4 gigs. I mean, I think I had 6 available, 4 to 6 available gigs on this TV. You know, that's for downloading apps, uploading photos. But all of this creates this TV that gives you an experience that you really want in a TV. It has Wi-Fi 6E, so you're getting lightning fast Wi-Fi speeds, no more buffering, right? It has the wireless set-top box that allows you to store all those ugly wires about 30 feet away from the TV, and it still is able to output 8K resolutions. I have had 0 problems with the wireless signal, 0. I have had no interference, no cutouts whatsoever. I would be honest with you because I was worried about that, but that was a definite plus because I know so many people that hate having wires visible. You don't really have to do that anymore with this TV. So you're paying for these extra features. Then you got AI processing. When you see a 4K go to actual 8K or almost 8K resolution across the board, whether you're playing a video game, watching a Blu-ray, streaming, watching TV, it actually looks like 8K. That's impressive to me. I have seen up conversion, and honestly, Samsung TVs have been great for a long time, but this is the TV that is at the top tier for me. Now, when it comes to OLED versus QLED, this is a mini LED TV. So even with all the dimming zones, yes, Every now and then you might see a little blooming. If you have, example, a completely black screen, you might see a little bit of light, but honestly, it depends on the settings that you are using on your TV and the source. So if it's a high resolution source and you have the correct settings, that is so minimal. But honestly, I think it'll always be there a little bit. However, this shines in every category, so much so, I'm telling you, you will prefer this over an OLED probably any day of the week. If you were to sit and watch this TV for 7 days straight, and then sit and watch an OLED TV for 7 days straight, I could almost guarantee that the trade-offs will be worth it to check out the 8K variation. Many people say, there's no 8K content, why buy an 8K TV? The reason why you want to buy an 8K TV is because it has the capability, one, to do 8K, two, to upconvert to 8K, which essentially eliminates that problem, and it's that good. And you're getting that many more pixels, right? It's everything about the TV's better. The processor's better. The storage is better. The internet capabilities are better. The snappiness is better. The usability, as far as features go, there is seriously nothing this TV doesn't have, from voice activation to a SmartThings hub. So you can literally, look at your Ring doorbells from your TV. You get notification when your washer and dryer is finished. Again, I'm talking about Samsung smart appliances. That's what I use in my home. But the quality of this picture when it comes to sports, just that, I'm sure many of you have seen the difference between streaming sports and watching them on cable. On cable, especially like NBA, their faces are sort of jagged. That is eliminated with this TV because it upconverts it and it looks so smooth and clear. It's just a joy to watch sports. And it has no issues with motion. So if you are watching ice hockey and that puck sliding across, that puck is solid black and it's not dragging. It's just a solid puck, which is very difficult for most TVs to do, especially when it comes to ice hockey. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, this TV, even from last year's model was amazing. One of the best TVs I've ever seen. Then Samsung has found a way to make it even better. Now, when you buy this TV and you start using AI, remember, you will not really start to see the perfect picture that you're looking for until a few days. First thing you need to do, use your mobile device to do the calibration, turn on AI, pick the one that's best suited for your environment out of the two, and just leave it on. You can adjust your brightness, your sharpness. You can do anything that's not grayed out, depending on which AI mode you pick. Go ahead and adjust it and just leave it. And what you'll find is it gets better and better and better. And then about 4 or 5 days in, you are like, wow. Also, them bringing over the art mode onto this TV that was only on the frame TVs. Since this is the flagship, I think it's great that they did that. Look, it's bezel-less pretty much. It's so thin and beautiful. Why not have art mode? If your TV is going to be sitting there, why not have it look like a painting, right? This TV is now my favorite TV. Gaming on this TV is absolutely unreal. Again, 4K at 240 frames if you have a PC that's capable of outputting that. And it can also do 8K and up to 120 FPS. Now, that's not really going to be around probably for a while, but don't forget, it upconverts. So games, I was playing some older games, from 10 years ago, and I was like, wow, I couldn't even tell that it was an older game. That's how good the upconversion is. So if I was to rate this TV today, and again, it's been a month, so we'll see, I would say absolutely worth the money. I would go out and buy it immediately if you're looking for a TV and this is in your price range. Remember, they have one variant under it that's cheaper. It's, it doesn't have the 240 hertz panel, probably got less dimming zones, but will still be an awesome TV. Most of the features, probably not, maybe all of them. I'm not sure, probably a couple missing. But again, you get two variations in that sort of flagship tier. So 8K, right? But for this TV, this is Samsung's best. This is their flagship, and it delivered on flagship performance so far. That wraps up my review on the brand new 8K Samsung QN990F. This TV is absolutely gorgeous. It will give you an experience that you will remember every time you use it, and I cannot tell you how much I love this TV. If you have any questions or I missed anything, reach out to me in the comments section. Remember, I do YouTube for you and you only. Come follow me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at JB Tech Fanatic. Best place to get in contact with me is in the comments section. If you have any questions, I am glad to help. I always want to slow things down for a moment and remind you life is short. Don't forget to love your family, love your neighbor. Go out today and do a small act of kindness for someone. It is amazing what the smallest act of kindness can do. Remember, I do YouTube for you and you only, so if you need me, I'm here. I can't wait to talk to you in the comments section and see you in that next video. And until then, I'm JB Tech Fanatic and I'm out. Peace.